Secretly recorded from deep inside the bowels of a decommissioned missile silo, we bring you the man, one single man who wants to bring light to the darkness and dark to the lightness. Although he's not always right, he is always certain. So now, with security protocols in place, the protesters have been forced back behind the barricades and the blast doors are now sealed. Without further delay, let me introduce you to the host of Hutcast, Mr. Tim Hutner.
Thank you, Sergeant at Arms. You can now take your post. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the individual and participants. These views and opinions expressed do not represent those of the host or the show. The opinions in this broadcast are not to replace your legal, medical, or spiritual professionals. Welcome to Hutcast. It is 11/26/23, live in person in the studio. Mr. Richard Cooper is going to be on the show. Richard, are you there with me?
Yes, I am, Tim.
Okay, we're going to do this pre-roll, and we're going to jump Eddie's bourbon sauce. Got to go do a commercial, do our pre-roll, and then we are rocking and rolling. So stand by, Hutcast. We'll be right back.
This grilling season, take your taste buds to the next level. The sauce that'll change your barbecue forever. O. Eddie's Whiskey Bourbon Sauce is going to be at the Anoka County Fair. O. Eddie's Whiskey Bourbon Sauce is all about that split second when the tender meat and delectable sauce touches your taste buds. Don't believe me? Chef Richard Cooper is bringing O. Eddie's Whiskey Bourbon Sauce to the Anoka County Fair so you can taste it and become a believer yourself. O. Eddie's Whiskey Bourbon Sauce, the sauce that's worth the wait.
As mentioned in pre-roll, Chef Richard Cooper is here in the office, and he has got some information about Eddie's and his journey in life and how things have just kind of got there. Are you with me today?
Yes, I am, Tim, and thanks for having me here.
Thanks for taking your afternoon, and let's make this happen. So, I got a list of questions here, and again, it's just a guide, and I want to hear from you, and the people want to hear from you, because people don't know what it takes to start up a business. They don't know what startup really means. And I want to turn this into a lesson of, it's not always paved with gold. Sometimes it's paved with turds. And here we are sometimes, right?
That's correct.
So as your journey from chef to entrepreneur, what can you share with us among this journey being a chef for over 20 years and then creating O. Eddie's whiskey barbecue sauce or bourbon sauce?
Well, it's really it's about your failures and your success, and when you fail, you don't defer from that. You just take what how you failed and try to make changes and don't be afraid to try again. And that's exactly what I did. Tried one business, failed, and I didn't look down on that, but then basically started my own insurance agency from scratch and took the chance, and that went very well. And then I sold the business and decided to do something with this very special sweet and savory whiskey bourbon sauce that everybody just basically loved. And so did my education and online and tried to figure out how to get a product and what to do. And it took a lot of hours just to educate to before you even want to roll out a new business or start one. So that's where it started from.
Mm-hmm. What inspired you to turn the family recipe into a business venture?
Well, everybody that I was making my sauce for Christmas, and handing them out to family and friends, they just went crazy over it. And so when I sold my business, I'm like, well, why not do something with this? Because it's not a barbecue sauce. It's not a marinade. It's basically it's a finishing sauce, and it's a specialty product that everybody seems to have taken a liking to. It basically changes their palate, hits their palate, and changes how they cook and prepare their food and give them different options. And it's been very exciting and rewarding so far. So
that sounds like a great start. I mean, family loves it. Friends love it. And what is the difference between a finishing sauce and a barbecue sauce?
Barbecue sauce, you can just keep putting a whole bunch on, and until you have it spread all over your white T-shirt and your face. But like I said, it's a specialty sauce where you only need 1 or 2 ounces after you've prepared your food, or spiced it, smoked it, grilled it, baked it, and basically you just put a little bit, 1 or 2 ounces over the top of your product, and it changes how the meal tastes and moves forward.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And I'm a smoker. I smoke a lot of meat. So, I smoke with barbecue. I wait till it congeals or it gels up as I'm cooking it. Some people say don't put it on that early, but hey, it's my cook.
Yeah. Basically, I did my first barbecue rib fest competition in July up in East Bethel, Minnesota. And first time ever. And I literally smoked 18 racks of ribs.
Wow.
And smoked 18 competitors and won first place with my sauce. And so it's not about the sauce being put all over it and everything. It's about how you spice it, smoke it, grill it, and then basically prep it and put your sauce on afterwards for the finishing touch. And that's why we call it a finishing sauce.
I see. And was that Stock and Trade show, or what do they call it up there?
No, that was Smokey's Barbecue Rib Fest up in East Bethel, and then I did another one on Route 65 just back in October. And I did not win that one. My smoker went down, but I was able to finish my product and was able to turn in my ribs. But the Stockyard Days, that was just, I do a lot of, arts and crafts, festivals and fairs and car shows, and that's basically how I've been getting my my brand out there and my product and getting the followers. So it's been, it's not, insurance was a great business and I built a lot of relationships and did very well at it. But this has been a lot of fun, and I love to see people's smiles on their face and their responses and their reviews based on what they like and how they're just going crazy over this unbelievable product that I've come up with. So it's basically I have a 30 recipes out there, and there's a recipe on every jar. So I think the COVID time helped me launch because people couldn't go to restaurants. So, yeah, and so now a lot of people didn't know how to cook or bake, very well. So this is a way to really get out there, and they use my recipes on my labels, and they cook the food and they put the sauce on, and they just it's gone viral, and just I never thought it would go this far. So I'm very blessed.
Wow. And I can imagine, I suppose the 2020s and all that with that pandemic, and they did all that type of tying them up and closing restaurants. I never even thought about that would be a hell of a launching point for you.
Yeah, it kind of was. So again, they couldn't get out to eat, and so it gives them another option on how to prepare certain foods and actually look like chefs themselves.
Well, I would imagine that they should have brought back home ec in schools then, right?
That's correct, Tim.
Uh-huh. No home ec, no shop classes, no nothing. Everyone sit behind a computer and do their job. Well, sometimes you got to get in and get your hands barbecue-y.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So not knowing, moving on to the second question, what the other people are doing with their sauces, and without giving away the farm, what goes into crafting your signature sauce? Is there any technique or ingredients or techniques that sets Old Eddie's apart from other bourbon sauces?
Well, it's all. There's no preservatives. Everything's. I had to change the recipe up a lot by not using fresh ingredients. Using some freeze-dried ingredients to make the cost effective. So when they mass product it, that the flavor, the smell, and the taste is still there. And so it took quite a while to get the right sample and the right company to mass produce, thousands of jars at a time. And so biggest thing, there's no preservatives. And it's not gluten-free, but again, it's no preservatives. And it just hits everybody's palate like no tomorrow.
Wow. Now, on the cover of your everything, you have your Camaro. And I'm kind of an F-body guy, so I'm a Camaro guy.
Yeah.
Motivation road trip. You're traveling across the U.S. in your 97 Z28 SS to visit cancer centers. What motivated you to embark on this journey, and how do you plan to inspire and provide hope for the families and fighters you meet?
Well, again, cancer sucks, and I'm a 12-year survivor. I beat it with stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and 8 sessions of chemo. I beat it, and it was gone for a couple months, and then it came back, and so they sent me down to the U for see if I qualify for a stem cell. So I had a stem cell transplant in 2013, and the Lord's blessed me in so many ways, and I'm very fortunate to be above ground and be able to still share my story and my sauce. But the biggest thing is when I finally beat the cancer with my wife Patty, best friend, soulmate, best caregiver. I mean, you have to have a caregiver when you're going through this, but it was very special to me, for me and her, to start our own foundation, which was Cooper's Bone Marrow Transplant Foundation. And basically what we did is we started this, and we were doing charity golf events once a year, and we'd raise 10 to 15 grand and have a good day and some fun with people, and golf and dinner and silent auctions. But it went well for 5 years, but then COVID came and basically shut us down, and not shut us down, but kind of slowed the whole process. But we were able to raise money every year and help patients and families with medical expenses, and kind of reach out, because people don't know what they're in for when that C word comes up, and it's traumatizing, it's demoralizing, and it's you can go into a lot of different directions, depression, but positive attitude and faith in the Lord, and he'll help you guide your way. And he did that for me, and that's why a percentage of my sales as we move forward, Eddie's will donate to our foundation, Cooper's Bone Marrow, and then we'll also that way we'll have the opportunity to help families and patients, and that's what my goal is. So.
Nice. And I'm kind of that believer too, where the good Lord above puts somebody there in front of you, and you're there to be there. Yeah,
he's blessed me in so many ways. I mean, just how I come in contact with you to give me the opportunity to do this podcast and get my brand out. But it's just everything happens for a reason, and he's put me in places and put me in front of people that can help guide me or educate me to really get this to be the number one selling sauce in the nation. And that wasn't my goal, but if I can get this to be the number one selling sauce in the nation, the sales will be there, the donations will be there, and the cancer patients will be able to help out a lot. And so that's really my goal, and I think that's why the Lord sees my mission and vision. So I'm blessed.
When you make it big, number one, don't forget little guys like us, Hudcast, out in the undisclosed location of a missile silo. We got to do that for anonymity.
Yeah.
But don't forget us, because we also do other things here on the cast. We want to make sure that everybody's well heard. So let's see, Traveling Cross got that question handled. Last show I was talking to a doctor, a homeopathic doctor, a homeopathic filmmaker. I mean, he's one of these guys that are, they're a juggernaut in health. And I gave him this quote, and I always thought it was from the Bible, but he had corrected me, and I says, how does it go? The wicked don't need rest, and the righteous don't need any. There is no rest for the wicked. Here it is. There is no rest for the wicked, and the righteous don't need any. And it was half right, but, sometimes we just got to be on that juggernaut ourselves, and I think you're on that path.
Yeah, I think so. And that's a great quote there. It really is.
Now, memorable experiences throughout your travels and interactions. What has been some of the most memorable experiences, stories that touched you deep down in the heart?
Well, when I'm in my grocery store, retail stores, doing food samples, and people sample it, and then they hear my mission, vision, and story, and they come up and tell me they had a family, or their parents or their mother has cancer and just passed away, and those when those people reach out to me and tell me those things, I really break down and cry because it's very emotional and it touches my heart because this cancer, everybody has been touched by somebody in their lives, and it really hits the heart. So I love hearing. I don't like hearing that from my customers or people, but I'm glad they're sharing that with me, and I can share my story. And I do have my story up on my website under my foundation, and there's a picture of me with my stem cell bag and my story there, and you can go to Caring Bridge and actually read the whole thing because it's a very difficult time to go through, and if you can have faith in the Lord and just keep praying and get the best outcome, and that's what has happened with me and a lot of other people. Unfortunately, some don't make it, but it touches my heart very, very much so.
Well, that's a lot to touch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we are 14 minutes into this segment. I'm going to hit you with question number 5, and then we're going to do a commercial break. So, future aspirations and support. With the goal of reaching grocery store shelves, what are some of the challenges that O. Eddie's is facing in terms of scaling up, getting this thing rolling? How can listeners support your journey and help bring sauce to more homes across the country, across the world? Because podcast is a global listening.
Yeah. Hopefully it will go, worldwide. Right now it's, we started with a couple arts and crafts shows, and then I went to, I knew where I had to go with it, so fairs and car shows. But the biggest thing is I really want to, I've done everything I can to get it where it's at. I've done this all myself. I'm not bragging, but it's been a very long, tough journey. And I've sacrificed a lot of time from my best friend and soulmate, my wife, Patty. And unfortunately, I don't have any children, which would have sacrificed even more. But there's been a lot of sacrifices, and so I've taken as far as I can. Websites, everything's good. We're getting orders on website. I'd like to see hopefully more on my e-commerce and start shipping more to help elevate the brand. But the biggest thing, challenges right now is distribution. And most of these distribution companies help entrepreneurs or new products like mine get on the shelves in retail grocery stores. And you need to have that distribution. And if you don't have it, then you're pretty much just basically on e-commerce and hoping that things go well and maybe get on Amazon sometime. But
sure.
The distribution is where it's the most challenging at this point for me, and getting the right companies to help or accept me and my product to get it out to the other stores. I don't want them on the shelves next to all the other barbecue sauces out there, but I want my own floor display and next to the fresh meat counter, and it stands out by itself. So the biggest thing is distribution now, and that's where I'm focusing my rest of this year. And hopefully by start of next year, we'll have a good opportunity to start regionally and get it into convenience gas stations, your Speedways, Quick Trips, all them places like that. So once distribution comes, I do believe that by the end of 2024, this could be the number one selling sauce in the nation, which would be absolutely astonishing. And it can happen. You got to believe,
Got to believe, that's right. So you said you're not on Amazon. Why?
I've done a lot of Zoom meetings and they're with different companies that, Amazon, I was thinking about getting on there, but the brand isn't out far enough yet that they think. And you need more structure and more products maybe to get on there, but that's coming. So I found out that that's really not where to go at this point. But I think once we get the brand nationwide, I think in the e-commerce and the website orders, fulfillments there, then it will be time to go on to Amazon. So everybody in the nation can, or the world can, order O. Eddie Sweet and Savory Whiskey Bourbon Sauce online.
Sure. I do know that all the social medias, they have called an SEO, search engine optimization, and they use an algorithm.
Yes.
So if you were to see an ad sponsored of O. Eddie's finishing sauce and you touch on it, now that puts you into a different category. Now all of a sudden, if you have an Amazon account, guess what pulls up?
Well, hopefully O80's, but basically, your barbecue sauces, and cooking sauces. Yeah, no doubt.
So that's a very strong, powerful tool. Some people say it's kind of Big Brotherish. We're kind of the anti-Big Brotherish type of show, but it's your search engine, and you're doing the searching, and I don't know. But
yes, that's how I found some of these companies that can help me with the social media marketing and advertising. Once I clicked on the one,
yep.
Well, there it goes. So all these other ones keep coming up, and I've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings with each different company to see which one really fits Eddie's and the cost, and who can help get me the best without the big expenses at this point. But looking for someone to grow. But you're right. That's how that search, that SEO, and the return on investment can be huge. Once I get my Instagram set up and have my posts and videos, and maybe even this podcast can be on there someday. But and be a big sponsor for Hutcast. So.
Hutcast, yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
70 plus countries. We're translated in 8 languages that I know of. We're at 45 million and growing. Yeah,
that's amazing.
But again, as I told you when you come in, it sounds like a big number, but worldwide it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's billions of phones.
Yeah, right.
I'm just a scratch and a sniff of a maybe of a kind of.
Yeah.
But I got enough listeners listening.
Yeah, and Eddie's is just scratching the surface right now. I mean, Sweet Baby Ray's the #1 selling sauce in the nation. Why? People like it and the price, but I honestly believe that with the right distribution and the product and the marketing and the right person behind me, this can be the #1 selling sauce, and we can do a lot of good with the sales and change people's ways and habits on how they make their food and eat it and have fun eating food again, because most people don't even know what to make anymore every day.
They don't know how to make it. It's not in a microwave.
Yeah, a lot of microwaves. No more of that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if Sweet Baby Ray's comes knocking on my doors for a mid-roll sponsorship, I should say, maybe not this time?
No, I don't think so. In any business, you take what you can get.
Yeah.
But,
okay, so what are we? 20 minutes. That went fast. Okay. We've already talked about our question 5. We have, there's just a whole lot of questions here. So let's talk about transition from chef to business owner when we come back from the break, and just kind of get us on page with that.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Hutcast is going to take a break, pay the bills, and we're going to come back and talk to Eddie's finishing sauce about his transitions from chef to business owner. So it's kind of where we're going to go. So stand by. We'll be right back. Now a word from our sponsors. Today's sponsor in part by Excel Roofing. Excel Roofing, they do it all. Roofs, siding, framing. You need a house? Give Excel a call. I've used these guys personally in the past, have a professional crew. They're conscious of your job, and they want to produce the finest quality of craftsmanship available. Excel Roofing, 763-712-0757. Again, 763-712-0757. Excel Roofing, Dayton, Minnesota. Welcome back to Hutcast. Richard Cooper, chef extraordinaire, master cook. I mean, there's a whole list of things that goes on there, and you can't make a finishing sauce without having some of those titles. But we're back, and we want to talk about transitions from chef to business owner. After decades as a chef, what challenges did you face transitioning from the role of a business owner? And how did your culinary experience influence your approach to running Eddie's?
Well, when I was started cooking when I was like 16 years old in a Mexican restaurant, but I never went to culinary school. I just really learned hands-on from other chefs and sous chefs. And over the years, different restaurants, Italian, Mexican, and then 5-star hotels, and learning from the chefs how to do sculptures and watermelon sculptures and ice sculptures and set up buffets and all that. So over the years, I just was able to educate and learn from on-the-job training, which is really great. It saves a lot of costs in college. And
Right.
there's a lot of chefs that are much better than I am. I mean, not one of those cruise chefs that have all these beautiful things, but I'm very talented in so many ways. But it just once 25 years went by, I just I got to change something else, and found out that sales was my niche. And when I got into sales for insurance, that went very well. And so with the sauce, once I sold my insurance agency, I knew that I have a product I can sell, and I have a story, mission, and a vision. And I just knew that transitioning from that and insurance sales could, all the education I learned in sales for insurance really, owning that business really helped me grow and be successful to where I'm at right now with Oeddy's.
Wow. So did you find the transition relatively simple, or was it a little bit of kung fu in there?
The transition was very, well, the biggest thing was education.
Okay.
And so you can, like you said, websites and everything, YouTube, you can learn absolute so many things to educate yourself on any business startup if you want to be an entrepreneur or, think you got something to move forward. But the biggest thing is, I never thought it was going to be like this. It was just supposed to be a farmer's market,
Right.
set up, 3 times a week, and do it during the summer and make, some money and have fun doing it. But once I sold 200 jars in 1 month, I knew where I had to go with this, and that's where the education had to come in again. How do you get a label? How do you promote your brand? What kind of brand? What looks good? Jars? What kind of jars? How to market it? All those things, and then you have barcodes. But the biggest thing is these retail grocery stores, big chains. Your wholesale, Albertsons, all these different types of major retail grocery stores. It's hard to get to the right person that can make the decision to bring your product in. And really, it's just stopping in each one, talking to a manager, giving them a sample, and doing a small 30-second pitch and see if they'd be interested in bringing that to the corporate office and see if they'd be interested in moving forward. So that's been the challenging thing.
But these guys get hit all the time with these. I mean, if you're in the business, like we're in the car business, we get constantly hit with things like this.
Yeah.
And you only have so much time in a day before the time suckers come get you.
Yeah.
So how do you get past the persona of being a time sucker and getting your point across in a split second?
It's really just a 20-second pitch. Hey, Oeddy Sweet and Savory Whiskey Bourbon Sauce. Can I give you a sample? And if I can change your palate and you're interested in it, please give me a call, and I'd love to sit down and talk about getting this in here, because I have a great margin, and I've done my homework, and I definitely believe that this product will sell the majority of the products, and everybody's margins are there. Everybody can make money, and the benefits go to my cancer foundation. So that's really another story, but it's only a 15, 20-second pitch, giving them a sample of my sauce, having them smell it, taste it, and if it hits their palate, boom, there it is.
So you're approaching them on the foundation approach, the pitch. You're approaching them on a GPM's, gross profit margins, a pitch. You're approaching them on a, hey, we're going to be the best guys out there pitch.
Yes, and how I can be a partner with you and have this become the number one selling sauce in the nation. And with that, everybody succeeds, and it can happen.
Wow. Well, that's a pretty good answer here. And we're going to flip to number 7 question. The family role. You mentioned once in this podcast your wife, Patty, on your journey. How has your family played a role in developing the success of Oeddy's, given the fact that you were in a tough spot with the cancer?
The cancer, I don't know. I guess when I finally beat it, my outlook in life changed, and it does change. You live life every day to the fullest. You just have fun and have time. Spend more time with your family and friends. But when starting this business, it kind of was a role just on my own, and I knew that it was going to take a lot of sacrificing of my time with my family and my wife. But Patty's been great with it, and as I progressed, she saw more and more. But the time, there's just not enough time in the day, Tim. You having your business and any business owner, especially doing it by yourself, everything by yourself, it is not enough time in the day. I'm up early in the morning, boom, 12, 13 hours. My wife comes home. I spend a couple hours with her. We chit-chat and have something to eat. And then,
off you go.
She goes to bed, and I'm back out in my office doing more education and trying to get more and more information that I can to help get this out there as fast and as promptly and really just get it out there and get the brand.
Mm-hmm. Everybody says, start your own business.
Yeah.
Be the boss.
Yeah.
Pick your hours.
Yeah.
You tell them where the bear poops in the woods, right?
Well, let me tell you, when I'm up till sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just learning and education and making the list for the next day. It's and then get 3-4 hours of sleep. But
yeah,
it's a tough deal. But if you have the drive, determination, and dedication to your business, and failure's not an option, you can succeed. And anybody can do anything they want to do. All they got to do is just put the effort in their mind and educate. You got to educate yourself.
Back to the wicked don't need rest and the righteous don't need any, right?
Yeah, right.
We call that the 3 Ds in life.
Yeah.
And you just hit upon it, and I'm going, yeah, we follow that rule.
Yeah.
But there's no S for sleep.
Nope.
And there's no R for relaxation.
No.
And there's no, it's just re-gear, retool, redo.
Yeah, and that's what I do. Sometimes I'll just shut it down for a day and a half. I won't turn my phone on or computer or nothing. And just kind of, regroup and get ready for the next push, But I'm going to let you know, Tim, and everybody, that it's a lot of fun for me to do what I'm doing, even though it's taking a toll. But I know the outcome and where we're headed, and the Lord's guiding me in these ways. We're gonna make it happen. So then, once this is all done, we have our exit strategy and sell the business, whatever, and then travel around and visit cancer centers and write out the checks and have fun.
Maybe in that new RV you want.
Yeah, that motorhome. Yeah,
go burn some diesel fuel and some tires and see where you go. Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, they make an electric vehicle motorhomes yet? No, I'm just kidding.
I think they've stopped at electric. I think Ford stopped last week. They stopped their EV plan.
Oh, they don't even have a motorhome that's electric yet, do they?
I don't know.
Would it even be able to pull 10,000 pounds?
Oh, electric's pretty tough.
Yeah,
electric's very tough.
Anyways,
but I get you.
Yeah.
Okay. Community impact and inspiration. Now, during your travels and visits to cancer centers, how do you hope to impact the communities you visit? I mean, so what's the message you want to share with those who are fighting this terrible disease?
Well, for me, they have the HIPAA rules and regulations in the hospital, so I'm not able to really go into the cancer centers, and really, do what I'd like to do. But we can find different ways to set up the time and be a speaker in a group meetings where families have to stay in like Ronald McDonald houses and all that. And they're away from home.
Yeah.
And they're in with a group of patients that, families and patients that live too far away, because every day there's workups, there's scans, there's all these things and to go through, and you can't be too far away. So these families are down there, and they have these groups where I can actually be a speaker and talk about what worked for me, and stay positive, and basically, really make sure you're eating the proper foods, because when you're going through this, you don't feel like eating, and you need to keep your weight on. And that my sauce and my recipes can really help educate people how to give something better in their mouths when they're going through this. And so leave the jars of sauce. Groups speak for these individuals and families to give them support. And then before we leave, we write out a nice check for families. Doesn't matter how much or whatever it is. Every little amount helps. And when I was going through it, I couldn't even get a free parking pass down at the University of Minnesota to go on a parking ramp. So that was $100. I couldn't even get that. So there's a lot of little things that can make a difference in these patients and families' lives, and that's what we're here for.
Well, you're not their vendor. You're their commodity.
Well, could be, yes.
I mean, just think about it. Think about what a hospital situation is. Yeah. We're not there to be friends. We're there to try and fix you.
Yeah.
But you're their business model.
Yeah.
So when you try to put human attached to a business, and that's a tough spot for a hospital.
Yeah, it is. Just because of all with the COVID and the mask and everything, but even before that, the HIPAA rules and all that. But so there's other ways, that you can go in front of these, stand in front of these cancer centers, wherever there may be, different states, and just sit outside. And when you see somebody coming out and they're fragile, and they have their mask on, and you can tell they've just gotten beat up with certain things, well, you can hand them, $100 bills here or there, or, get their story real quick outside, 1 minute, and then write a check out to them. Here, take this, help stay positive, use the sauce, help keep your weight on, help keep the fight, and keep praying to the Lord, and the Lord will guide you, and the sauce will help keep your weight on.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Let's see, what are we? We're 13 minutes in. Okay, so let's go to the branding, story, and marketing. Okay, so how do you use the story of Eddie's? It's original. It's your personal journey. It's your current travels in marketing your product. What impacts has this story had on your brand's identity? Because there's not too many Camaros and finishing sauces with.
No.
Yeah, I mean, talk to me.
Yeah, these, when I was doing the design, I was walking down the aisle and I'm looking at all the different barbecue sauce, what types of bottles, plastic, glass, sizes, pricing, and what their branding logos are. And nothing stood out to me. And so after beating stem cell cancer and 12 years cancer-free, I ended up buying this 97 Chevy Camaro Z28 SS 30th Anniversary Edition convertible. And I find out that after a year later, it's very, very rare. It's one of 6. And the original owner actually found me on Facebook, and he was looking to buy it back. And he found me, and we talked for quite a while. And he's actually got cancer and lung cancer. And I went down at the VA in Minneapolis, Minnesota here. And he's from Iowa, and so I went down and visited him for 3 hours, but he loves the sauce. But I told him I can't sell this car back to you because if this thing goes nationwide and da-da-da-da-da, it could be a symbol now. And I find out it is very rare. It's one of 6. But I'm looking at that, and I wanted my collector's plate to say, she said no, because my wife said no twice to a plastic car, and I just laughed at it. She didn't think that was too funny, but so I came up with a name. Well, my nickname is Eddie on the golf course, and so I wanted when you miss a putt or shank a drive, my friends go, oh, Eddie. So I started laughing, right? And hey, let's put that on the collector's plate, oh, Eddie, right?
Right.
So I'm looking at the car, I'm driving around, I'm like, well, let's start the sauce and do that. Well, the picture of the car, the American flag, a portion on there. My recipe, I came up with that right away. Sitting in the garage, hey, why not do recipes and put them on every label? Well, there's costs involved in that, but hey, got 30 recipes. I got my top 10 out there, designed my label, and it stands out. I mean, you put that next to any one of those products on the shelves, and it stands out. But I don't want to be there because it's not a barbecue sauce. It's a finishing sauce.
Finishing, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so I designed all that, and it looks great. And everything I've done, my hoodies, T-shirts, hats, all my marketing, advertising, all embroidered, from
Yeah, you got a lot of merch out there.
yes, and a lady up in northern Minnesota, she took on my project, and she does a great job. But so that was all designed, and it stood out, and that's where I started working it and making it better and better, better. And obviously now winning the 2023 Smokies Barbecue Rib Fest competition first place. Well, now it's kind of an award-winning sauce, right? So now I got to change my marketing all over, and my posters and cards and everything, right? So no, it's a great experience, and it's a great challenge, and you have to really adapt to certain changes and whatever works for you. So I'm very blessed again. So the marketing was great, and doing the car shows, going out to fairs, local fairs. I did go out to, we can go into that later, but yeah, so I'm trying to get on Shark Tank. So that was another adventure I went on.
Nice. So we got the big fish in the little pond.
Yeah. Well, I'm the little fish
In the big
in
pond.
a big pond
There you
right
go.
now.
That's the attitude to
Yes,
have, right there.
that's right.
Okay. Shifting gears here. Well, let me finish up this last line question. So you're a Camaro guy. So now you get the Dodge guys and you get the Ford guys. But you have to realize, regardless of what gas you're putting in your car, you're still a car guy. So if you like ribs and you're a Dodge guy, you need to sometimes look past that and get over that fickleness of your branding.
Yeah.
So you gotta, you didn't put a GM Ford Dodge on there. On your cover. It's a car. It's the one you like. I mean, and being a GM guy myself, I get it. But the Dodge guys, they're a little different. But they'll catch on once they taste the sauce.
Yeah, they are. Well, that hasn't even come into play, as far as
Yes,
that.
I bet it is.
People, I'm not really, didn't really like the 1997 style or anything. I just wanted convertible, and never really been a Dodge. I like Ford, but I've been a Chevy guy all the time. But a lot of people ask, what's the deal with the car? And I just said, well, I bought it after beating cancer, and I just wanted something from the sale of my business after the government takes all my, 35% royalty checks.
Yeah, their share, right?
Their share,
yeah.
For 3-4 years. And now you're left with nothing. But I just wanted something to show. And it's a beautiful car. And I'll never sell it. It's very low mileage. And the original owner, he was just devastated when he sold it. And his wives made him sell it. But so it that has not come into play as far as if they're going to buy my sauce or not. It's the cancer, me, my foundation, and the sauce. It's a 15-second, basically introduce myself and my sauce to them and give them a sample. And go on my website, and read my story, mission, and vision, and you'll get the whole scoop. And if you want more, after you taste it and like it, come back and I'll give you the rest of the stories. And they do. They come back and they want to hear. They want to know more. And they buy my sauce. So,
well, let's kick the overdrive in here.
Sure.
10 questions. Last one. We're 20 minutes into this segment. So it's going to be about an hour 10 show. Advice for aspiring entrepreneurs. With what advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur, particularly to those in the culinary or food product industry, based upon your experiences with Eddie's?
Well, I guess as being an entrepreneur, educate yourself, for one. 2, get the people behind you. There's a lot of people that can help you grow and go wherever you want to take your new business or entrepreneurship, and it's out there. But the biggest thing is, I don't know what I want to say. Don't be afraid to fail. If you fail, find out why did you fail, and then don't be afraid to try again. And
know what not to do, right?
Right. Learn from your failures to be successful in the long run. And that's really the biggest thing. But making sure you're educating yourself before you launch, and you do your startup, and sometimes you don't really need a whole lot of revenue or capital to get started. It's really Again, the 3 Ds: drive, dedication, determination, and don't be afraid to fail. Failure is not an option. Just keep telling yourself, failure is not an option.
Hmm. Yeah, we use the 3Ds a lot, and
Yeah.
it's always easier starting a business, and it's very difficult getting out of one. That's what I keep hearing. I'm not out of mine yet, or mine businesses, plural.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I hear you. And before I close out my statement here, let's go for the plug. Give us your intel on what, how, and who to get a hold of you. Go for that.
Right now, you can go to my website. It's www.oeddieswhiskeybourbonsauce.com. And there you'll see I've got about 5 or 6 pages. It'll show my locations where all my sauce is being served or sold at in Minnesota. And then you can also see all my shop, all my marketing, my hoodies, T-shirts, hats.
Your merch, yeah.
My merchandise. And then I have a Anoka County Meat Markets. They're actually making beef sticks with my Eddie's whiskey bourbon sauce, and they're going to about a case a week. And
wow!
I went in and bringing a case, and hey, Richard, you got to try this. We made beef sticks with your sauce. I go, what? It was absolutely amazing, and it's on my website as for ordering as well. But it's gone. People are loving that as well. That hits their palate, and it's not like Jack Links or all these other different types of beef sticks or whatever. It's totally different, and it tastes wonderful instead of having the same old stuff that's on the shelves. You know what I mean? And it could go even further. It could be 080's whiskey bourbon sauce brats, right? And then it could do 080's Gouda bacon cheeseburgers. I mean, there's all these things, these fresh meat markets. And what about the hunters? Don't forget about them.
Sure.
You know? I'm starting my, I didn't get it this year, but all my wild game recipes for my sauce, right? Oh, finishing sticks, your straps, your chops, your elk, bear, all this. And I have those recipes all ready to go. I just wasn't able to launch them yet on the jars this year and this fall. So hopefully next fall we'll have it all ready for all the hunters. And then basically get to the seafood version. That way we can get it out there on the East Coast. And, instead of using Tabasco sauce on your raw oysters on a half shell, right, and slide them down, what about putting a little ounce on Eddie's on your oysters and slide them down? Totally different. You know what I'm seeing when I'm at? This thing can go super crazy. Crawfish, sucking the meat out of the crawfish with Eddie sauce. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the snot stuff.
No, neither am I. But I never could. But it's there, and how do you? Every time you go into a restaurant, you always see ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, right? Why can't Eddie's bottle or jar sauce be on every table in every restaurant? It can't be. with the right distribution and the right people behind us. It can be there.
Is yours a refrigerated after opening thing?
Doesn't have to be, no.
No. So there's nothing that can spoil?
No.
What's your shelf life?
Well, it's used before 2 years is what's on the label, but people always ask me what's the shelf life. I go, well, there really isn't none because it's going to be gone within, it's used up so fast. It's not like it sits in your refrigerator for a long time, like tartar sauce or a cocktail. No, this thing, you'll use it over and over. And people... I got repeat customers right now online ordering.
Nothing wrong with that.
And no, it's amazing. So it's they're really enjoying it. They're enjoying cooking again and eating food with a different taste and options.
Well, today's show has been a wide range of topics from Richard Cooper's personal journeys and creation of his sauce to his businesses, challenges, and community impact, providing a comprehensive insight to his story and Eddie's whiskey bourbon sauce. That's today's show. What any parting words before we bounce?
No, I just like to thank you for your time today, and hopefully anybody that hears this and will go to my website, read my mission, vision, and story, and give it a shot. Order some sauce. I'd love to send it out to you. It doesn't matter where you're at. We can get it to you somehow. But the jingle is Eddie's whiskey bourbon sauce, the sauce that's worth the wait. So enjoy the website. We will continue to update that and change it as we move forward. We're working on some social media, Instagram ads and that. So just keep an eye out there. I am on Facebook. I have a group page on Facebook under 080's Whiskey Bourbon Sauce, and then my own personal page under Richard Cooper. So anyways, just get the follow. I want to keep the following. If you're excited and you want to try something new, take a look at it, and we'll try to get it to you and make it happen. So again, I appreciate your time today, Tim, and let's get this to be the number one selling sauce in the nation.
Certainly have aspirations. Richard, thank you very much for visiting. And in studio today, keep this disclosed bunker hidden in your... we don't want that advertised, all right? But we appreciate it. Yeah. So Hutcast wanted me to mention out some guys from Yugoslavia, I think it was. I don't even know what the new term is. Yes, we did talk to those people on the last show, and it is correct. My dad is good. So I don't know what you want to do over there, but you guys got to deal with that. You'll know what I'm talking about. Other than that, Hutcast is out. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you again, Richard.
No, thank you. God bless.
And that's a wrap for Hutcast. Hutcast is, again, a pragmatic approach to seeing things how some people see them. If you like our show, give us a thumbs up on the Facebook site. Again, for Hutcast, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening.